So it come to my attention that Glock is getting rid of a lot of their models. I don't know exactly which ones. I'm hearing they're getting rid of the 357 SIGs. I'm hearing some people saying 10 millimeter, some of the nines. I don't know, but from what I'm hearing, that they're focusing mainly on 9 millimeter. They might be getting rid of the 40 calibers too, from what I'm hearing, man. And I think if this is the case, man, now is a good time for people to just, whatever Glocks you had in mind to buy, and you want them new, and you don't want to get them aftermarket, like, used and stuff, get them now. And, there was a method to the way I was going to do my channel when it came to, like, which guns I was buying. I was trying to start with a lot of the budget weapons and work my way up to expensive stuff. So, because I'm here to cover all guns for everybody. I want to cover, to cover the cheapest to the expensive, so I might have to think a little bit different now. I might have to put that on pause and just go on a Glock binge, because there is some Glocks that I really wanted to get, and now that I'm hearing that they're getting rid of some models, I'm afraid that they might not have them anymore. So I want to get them. My favorite Glock is the Glock 19. I'm only one in so far. I don't think they're ever going to get rid of the Glock 19 or the 17. Those are like their biggest sellers. So, but there are some Glock. I want a handful of Glock 19s, because there's one that I want to trick out. Like, I want to change the trigger. I'm a fan of the Gen 3, so I'm going to probably pick up another black Gen 3, but trick it out, put a, I can't do that because they don't have MOS Gen 3, so I will have to get a Gen 5 and trick it out. Or, just get a Gen 3 and just don't worry about the top, and just get a nice flashlight laser combo, get the new trigger put in there, maybe some other things done to it, the mag well, get that shit flared out. I don't know, but I'm a Glock 19 fan. And also, I wanted a Glock 33. I might as well just go ahead and get one of those out the way. I wanted a 27 Gen 5. I don't know if they're going to stop making those, so I think those going to have to be on my priority list. The 27 Gen 5 and the 33 Gen 3. And also a 26 is on the list. I'm not really worried about them getting rid of the Glock 26, but they might, man. They might end up just staying with the 43Xs and then the 17 and 19. I got a strange feeling that's what they might end up doing, but I don't know. But I had a 10 millimeter Glock on the list. I have to get me a Glock 30 again. I had a Glock 30 years ago, got rid of it. Should have never did that. We'll never do it again. Trust me, for nothing. And I have a few other Glocks. A few Glock 17s on the list. So I have a lot of Glocks on my buy list, man. I have a whole list that I write down, like whatever brands I have, whatever models that I want to obtain, and I scratch them off as I go. I ain't nowhere near finished yet, baby. And I think if you planning on getting Glocks, man, I would definitely get them now. I'm thinking about from now to maybe to into next year, all my handguns will probably end up being Glocks for that specific reason. I'm thinking about that, because at least everything else, you pretty much know you can find all the other stuff is going to be there, I believe. Glock is going through something. I don't know if it's because of the tariffs. I'm hearing that's what it is, but that can't be, because Trump stopped the tariffs on other countries. He just put the big heavy tariff on China, unless Glock parts is made in China, and they're not. So I don't know what that's about. But I definitely am going to probably go on a Glock binge, yo. And just go down the line. You know what I mean? The first ones to get is the ones I think they're gonna cancel out first, the 33 and the 27, and then I'll work my way to the ones that they probably won't cancel, but just get them out the way anyway, man. But that would end up being about 15 or 16 Glocks, yo. And a 43X is on the way as well, as a carry gun. So 43X, 33, Glock Gen 20, 27 Gen 5, Glock 33 Gen 3. So if you see 3 Glocks, the next 3 is going to be those, and then the Glock 30S. So we got 4 Glocks that are that's going to have to bump the other guns to the side, because I am a Glock guy, man. I don't have many Glocks, but I love Glocks, because I've never had many issues with any of my guns like that, but Glock, My oldest gun that I own is my Glock 19. That's my oldest handgun out of all my other ones. I got rid of a few other handguns from back in the day. You can go watch my video. But the Glock stayed around. It's the OG of the bunch. So that should tell you something how I feel about that gun. If it's got me through a lot of stuff. It's never failed me. I only had one hiccup out of my 19, but that was because the round had a weird little deformed lip on it. And then all I did was rechamber it and it fired it off. And that wasn't the gun's fault. That was the ammunition. You know what I mean? So I trust the 19, and I trust Glock with my life, man. You know, I really do. People bash Glocks, and people say, well, why do Glocks cost the way they cost? First of all, Glocks don't even cost that much. I mean, $500, $600 is not a lot, man. And you get a gun that's you could count your life to, man. I don't know where all the hate is coming from. I'm not a fucking Glock boy, but you gotta call it for what it is. Don't hate on the Glocks, man. You know what I mean? They do what they do for a reason. They're good. They are law enforcement. Most law enforcement agencies in this country carry Glocks. You know, another thing that was kind of strange, which I didn't understand why it went like this. Glock chose the SIG P320, aka the SIG M18, which is the military grade version of the P320. M18, which we can buy on the market now. That was in the military trials, right? And they chose the SIG P320/M18 over the Glock 19X. I don't know why they did that. I guess it's just all about the lowest, you know, the cheapest. They go with the lowest, you know, whoever's putting the lowest bid, they take the cheapest and they run with that. And you saw all the problems that SIG was having. You know, that Glock didn't have any of the problems that SIG had, but they went with SIG. That should tell you a lot, you know. But yeah, I forgot about the 19X. That's on the list. So that's 5 Glocks in a row that I might end up just getting out of the way, man. You know what I mean? But I'll never understand the hate that Glock really gets, man. They go bang every fucking time. You know, yeah, they have some Glocks. You know, people have gotten some that cause issues, but Glock will fix it, man. You know what I mean? You got that. Listen, my current carry guns is a Kel-Tec P32, a Smith & Wesson M&P 40C. I don't have, you know, I'm trying to put a couple of more in my rotation. The Shield 9 Plus was one of them. But we saw how that ended up, and I still don't think it's the gun. I think it was the way my hands meet with the slide catch. I don't like that. So I'm going to confirm that next week when I take it back to the range. Stay tuned for that video. I don't want that to happen if I'm in a real world situation. So I went to play around with the Glock 43X, and it fits my hand much better. The grip is a little longer, a little bit more comfortable, and I don't touch the slide stop when I'm firing it. Okay, I had a, you know, and I'm gonna put another Glock 30S in the collection too. I had a Glock 30 SF years ago. I actually had that before I had my Glock 19. I had bought my Glock 30 in 2010, and then I bought my Glock 19 in 2011. I had the Glock 30, the regular one's a little chunky. You know what I mean? The Glock 30S is supposed to be the same width as a Glock 19, like the slide. They narrowed the slide down. That's what the S means, slimmed out. But the frame, I think, is still a little bit like it's the same frame. But the slide is much thinner for concealed carry. Because, you know, carrying a Glock 30, if you guys carry Glock 29s, Glock 30s, you know how beefy those slides really is. Sometimes when I used to have the 30, it would dig into me a little bit because I had that crossbreed super tuck. It was a little comfortable, but I always said, damn, man, they can't make this slide a little thinner. And then the Glock 30S comes out a little while after, you know. But my Kel-Tec's been fine. My 40C's been fine. So I'm just going for a Glock 30S and a Glock 43X. And that's probably gonna be it for my carry rotation right there. You know what I mean? But you can't go wrong with Glock, so go get them while you can, man. Go get them while you can before they cancel out these Glock models, man. I'm going to go on the Glock website and I'm going to check and see exactly what Glock models that they're going to get rid of. I don't know if they have that list available yet, but I got to go check it out. You know what I mean? But stay tuned. Thanks for watching, man. Thanks for subscribing. I love all of y'all. Stay tuned for the next video. I'll catch y'all later.